In a silent, somber ritual, the president holds his hand over his heart as the remains of 3 American soldiers are carried off of a military transport aircraft. 5 days earlier, on January 28, 2024, the 3 troops were killed and dozens more were injured by a drone strike at a military base deep in the desert in northeastern Jordan. Here's what you need to know about the purpose of this base and how its existence helps explain why the US has troops in the country of Jordan in the first place. The garrison, originally created by the Jordanian government to monitor the border, is known as Tower 22. About 350 US Army and Air Force personnel are currently housed there. It's located near the tri-point where the Kingdom of Jordan meets both Syria and Iraq. The United States has had a presence at this base since 2014 to assist in the fight against ISIS, which at the height of its power controlled territory near this area in both of Jordan's neighbors to the north. The site is also useful as an outpost for US forces to cross into Syria or provide support to the 900 American troops currently in that country, especially to the base at Al-Tanf, only 20 kilometers to the north. In exchange, American military presence at Tower 22 provides King Abdullah II's government with help securing its Syrian and Iraqi borders. In 2016, an ISIS attack on this base killed 7 Jordanian guards stationed there. Today, ISIS has very little influence in Syria and Iraq and controls no territory in either country, but other dangerous militias are still very active in the region. This includes the group that calls itself the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, which operates near the Syria-Jordan border and claimed responsibility for the drone attack on Tower 22 earlier this year. Some experts believe that countering these Iran-backed groups is now the main focus of the American soldiers stationed at the base. Since October of 2023, the militias have launched over 160 attacks on US forces in the area. The drone attack on Tower 22 was the first of these strikes to occur on Jordanian soil, and the first to kill American troops. This remote outpost isn't the only place in Jordan where American troops are currently stationed. There are about 3,000 of them spread across the country. So why does the US have soldiers in the Hashemite Kingdom in the first place? Jordan has maintained strong relationships with Western nations for decades, being named a major non-NATO ally of the United States in 1996. Tower 22 is a microcosm of the mutual benefits of this partnership. As an unelected monarch, much of Abdullah's rule has been defined by his efforts to avoid any threats, domestic or foreign, that might jeopardize his grip on power or his government's sovereignty. The king's alliance with the Western superpower where he attended middle and high school, and later Georgetown University, has been invaluable to his so far successful pursuit of these goals. The US allocates over $1 billion a year to Jordan in military, economic, and humanitarian assistance, consistently placing the country among the top recipients of American foreign aid. In the middle of a volatile region, Abdullah sees border security as a major tenet of maintaining stability. Washington has spent hundreds of millions of dollars helping the king's government establish an intricate surveillance system called the Border Security Program to help keep out not only extremist militants, but also weapon and drug traffickers. The mere presence of US armed forces at border outposts like Tower 22 is a deterrent to these groups. With the support of this security system and thousands of American troops, including hundreds of military trainers, Jordan has largely been able to shield itself from the conflict its neighboring nations have seen. The United States, in turn, receives plenty of benefits from this relationship. The Levantine nation represents a strategic foothold from which America can project its influence and protect its interests in the Middle East, while also monitoring and responding to threats like those Iran-backed militias. One of the most important advantages is, as Tower 22 exemplifies, that Jordan functions as a lily pad for the US to use to support its troops and operations in nearby nations. But there are no guarantees that this partnership will remain strong. Amman tends to keep the arrangement fairly quiet, and satisfaction with such close camaraderie with Washington may not extend through the Jordanian public. When reports of the January 28th attack on Tower 22 emerged, for example, Jordan's government initially denied the existence of such a base within the country at all. Since Israel invaded Gaza in 2023, the kingdom has seen mass protests in support of the Palestinian cause, as around a quarter of the Jordanian population are Palestinian themselves. Reminders that America, a staunch ally of Israel, has a military presence in Jordan may spur further civil unrest. King Abdullah has proven himself willing to make substantial changes to protect the Hashemite dynasty, and he certainly knows that, to a monarchy where one family has ruled for 100 years, civil unrest could be very dangerous.